Oh, hey, everybody. Mo Friggin back again. I know what you've been thinking. When am I going to review the Golden Child movie? Well, here it is. We're in the call room. We get a little bit of medicine in it. Not very much. The main MacGuffin in this movie is a knife. That's why it's so EDC appropriate. It's because it's got a knife in it. Let's get this show on the road. All right, first up, we start in Tibet, where the Golden Child is there with some monks, is able to bring a bird back to life, flies away. The bad guys of the movie are going to bust in and kidnap him. We get introduced to Eddie Murphy's character, who's walking around different sites in LA. He's wearing his famous Kufi hat, Kufi. It's a leather hat with no brim, somewhat famous from the movie, poster and other promotional material from this movie. Then we see him on the news, and he is trying to find a missing girl. And we get some information that he's kind of got a sense of humor and he's very passionate about these young people that he's looking for that have gone missing. And we also get to see that the character that is looking for the Golden Child, the character's name is Kenang, played by Charlotte Lewis, and she sees him on the news and she says, oh, this is the guy we're looking for that is the finder of missing children, because they're looking for the Golden Child. So then the Charlotte Lewis character tracks him down. He's playing basketball with some kids, showing that he's just, he just likes kids. He just likes, he wants to protect those kids. And she says, here's the scroll. And it says that there's this prophecy that the Golden Child will be kidnapped and taken to the City of Angels, and they're in Los Angeles, and that he will be protected by a man who is no angel. And so that's Eddie Murphy. Isn't buying it. He's not going for it. He's looking for his own missing girl. The police find the missing girl that Eddie Murphy's looking for, and it kind of leads him to a house that he's looking for clues, and there's all this demon stuff all over the walls, and there's blood and oatmeal, which is an image that always stuck with me growing up. The Charlotte Lewis character comes back and says, look, this is where your missing girl and what happened to her is linked to the Golden Child. Let's work together. So then he finally says, okay, let's do that. So then the Charlotte Lewis character takes him to see the Dragon Lady, and she's behind a curtain and she's waving her dragon tail around, and I don't know if Eddie Murphy knows what to do with any of this stuff, but where are we going to get to the knives? That's what I'm worried about. When are we going to get to the knives? When are we going to start talking about the knives? I think it's coming up. And she's able to tell them that, yes, if he was to be able to be tricked into eating something unpure, that he would become of this world and be able to be killed, whereas right now, he's the Golden Child and he can't be killed. And that's why they're trying to feed him the blood of these corrupted girls that they've murdered to see if they can make him mortal. Eddie Murphy's character then tries to get Charlotte Lewis' character to come up to his apartment, and she refuses. Then we cut to where they're holding the Golden Child. And he's in a cage, and he has these certain guards around him. One looks like John C. Reilly. The other one looks like it might be Jim Carrey. His name is Fu. And the Golden Child has some magical powers that's able to turn a Pepsi can into a little dancing, and he entertains the dim-witted guards that are guarding him. Then Eddie Murphy gets a phone call from his TV appearance that the girl that he was looking for that's now dead was seen with some biker gang guys, and so they're going to go roll up on that house and see what they can find out about them. And as he's rolling up, he says, he pulls off his Kufi hat. Oh, this is going to get serious in here. So then he rolls up on the biker house, and of course he gets instantly captured by them. He had told the Charlotte Lewis character to stay in the car and don't come out, even if he doesn't come out. But she takes off her coat and is wearing an all-white dress and comes in the house and proceeds to kick some butt. She is able to kick a guy through a wall. Okay, number one, shoddy construction. Number two, all the water, in multiple sites, starts spraying at her. Who built this house? I guess that's why it's just under a freeway and bikers live in it. It's poor quality house. So they take out the biker gang, and the last one says, we sold that girl to this guy that owns this Chinese restaurant. And so then they go and track them down. And I'm kind of watching this feeling like, there's lots of moving around, kind of montages and cars and music playing. And it reminded me of Fletch. And you know why? It's because it's the same director, Golden Child director Michael Ritchie. So then they beat up everybody at the restaurant, but the restaurant owner they're looking for escapes out the back door. And he thinks he's escaped But then the bad demon guy who had turned himself into a rat turns back into a human and kills him, and then turns back into a rat and gets away. So their lead is now dead. The guy they thought might give them some answers is dead. Then the bad guy pulls out his magic devil communication rug and communicates with the devil. And the devil finally tells him, the only thing that will kill the golden child is the knife of Ashanti. You have to get it and kill the child with it. And he says, hey, but only a very pure person can get this knife. I can't get it. And the devil tells the demon guy, you know what you got to do is you got to trick them into getting the knife for you. Trade the knife for the child, but then double cross them and kill the child with the knife. So yeah, finally we get the knife in this movie, finally. Can we please get to the knife sooner next time? So then the bad guy communicates with Eddie Murphy's character in a dream. And we find out the bad guy's name is Sada Noomspa. Sada Noomspa. And he tells them the plan for him to go get this dagger, and they'll change the dagger for the child. But also in this dream, Charlotte Lewis's character is really into him. And so the next day he goes to her and says, I had this dream. Here's the plan. Here's what they told me. Is this real? And she goes, yeah, that's all real. And so let's do that. But then he says, but then there was this part where you were like really into me. She goes, that part wasn't real. But maybe it was. We'll see. Foreshadowing. All right. So in the dream, he gets a scar, a dagger carved into his arm to tell him what dagger he needed to pick up to exchange for the golden child. And here's another medical thing in this movie, is he says he needs some antiseptic spray, creams for this. And he says two names. He said,
do you have any methylate or mercurochrome? Because this might get infected.
We don't use any of those anymore. I'd never heard of those before. In all of med school, we never talked about these for antiseptic. It's because they're old-timey, early 80s antiseptic creams that are based out of mercury. So not super great, to be involved in the human body. But I mean, they did work as an antiseptic as well. All right, then we find out that only Eddie Murphy, the chosen one, is going to be able to get this dagger. And he has to go to Tibet to get it. And he's not buying any of this stuff. So Charlotte Lewis's character takes him home, and she says, aren't you going to invite me up? He says, sure, yeah, come up. So she spends the night there, and then the next day, then he's willing to go to Tibet. I mean, right? All right, so they get to Tibet, and Eddie Murphy sees this street vendor guy on the ground and wants to buy a necklace from him. And the street vendor guy sells him not the one he wanted, some very plain Jane one, and takes more money than Eddie Murphy wanted to pay for it, and gets upset at him and pulls him up, and he disappears. Then they go to the monastery to talk to the guy who's holding on to the knife of Ashanti, and it ends up being that street salesman guy. And we get my favorite stuff, which is, I want the knife. He has to spin this board and talk to them and chant it and ask them a question.
I said, I want the knife.
Let him ask again.
I want the knife.
Please. Like, he can't even do that seriously. And then he does this like what you want? Like some scratching stuff. And he goes, I want the knife. Just classic knife memes. So then the challenge is to get this dagger. He has to cross these pillars, step on these different pillars across this cavernous void, holding a glass of water. And if he could make it across without spilling a drop, then he may be able to get the dagger. There's also a rope bridge that catches on fire. Also, they're able to speak with him from somewhere and tell him that, some rules are meant to be broken. Who knows? Who knows what's going on in this place? And the knife is being held with like some flames below it. And every time he reaches for it, the flames come up and he can't grab the knife without being severely burned. Or maybe he can't grab it at all. I don't know. Wouldn't you just grab it real quick, I guess. I guess you can't. And he says, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? So finally he says, he's oh, you know what? I'll drink this water and I can be pure as this water. And he drinks the water and then it puts out the flames, and he's able to get the knife. And he does my other favorite meme. He's got the knife.
I got the knife!
So after he gets the knife, Eddie Murphy has a heart-to-heart with the bum guy / monastery monk about how can he show someone from their world, like the Charlotte Lewis character, that he loves her and that she means a lot to him. He says you got to do 4 things. Number 1, you have to remain pure, meaning no women. Eddie Murphy says, is there another way? He goes, it takes 10,000 lifetimes. He goes, well, I guess I'll have to remain pure. Number 2, you have to trust someone you have no reason to trust. Number 3, you have to make someone a promise, someone you just met. And number 4, you have to love someone who loves you. And I think we are going to see all these things happen in the next little bit of this movie to prove his true love for Charlotte Lewis's character. All right, now he has to get through security at the airport with a 2-foot knife. You can't check it because it's the knife of Ashanti. You have to carry that thing on. You have to have it with you at all times. How are we going to get through security with this? Well, he puts it in another guy's trench coat as he walks through security. Then he grabs the knife and gets away. And we have another one of my favorite memes.
They're not gonna let me on the plane with this 2-foot knife.
The comedy really amps up in this portion, but we get when he's in the airport, he does my favorite thing growing up, where he'd say,
Viva Nepal! Viva Nepal!
Also on the plane, he puts some headphones in his ears and he's listening to some Tibetan music and he starts singing along to it and making a scene and people are laughing around him. I remember this stuff as a kid and thought it was freaking hilarious. This movie's great. When they get to the LA, Sada Noomspa's there waiting for him at the airport with cops saying, that guy has my dagger. We need to get it back from him. But Eddie Murphy puts on this whole scene and says, look, we can get this all worked out. So they make a time they're going to meet up to exchange the child for the knife. So Eddie Murphy and Charlotte Lewis are staying in a mansion trying to guard this knife, and they have some guards outside. But Eddie Murphy's got a feeling that he's got to get out of there and get away. So him and Charlotte Lewis get away, and of course she's only wearing a button-up shirt. How did that happen? Just put on some quick pants, girl. You're going to be out here jumping out of trees. Get on some pants. They're about to get away. Sada Noomspa teleports in with his crossbow, gets it out, takes aim for Eddie Murphy, shoots, but just in time, Charlotte Lewis does back handsprings, cartwheel, backflip, gets right in front of him, takes the bullet for him, and they get the knife and get away. So now Sada Noomspa has the knife. Charlotte Lewis' character has been shot with the crossbow. We're in big trouble. In Little China. This isn't Big Trouble in Little China. That's a different movie that came out this year that didn't do as well, maybe because this movie did pretty well. Eddie Murphy goes to see the dragon lady again, and she says, the golden child can save Charlotte Lewis if the sun doesn't set, if she always can be touched by sunlight, then she can be saved. So he says, well, I guess we got to go get this child. But he's sick of all this. He says, I'm sick of all this magic stuff. And he pulls down the shade that was covering up the dragon lady. And it's for real dragon lady, half woman on top and then dragon tail on the bottom. So all this magic stuff is all real. I don't know how much he truly believed in it after everything. He thinks it's all just baloney. But after that, he's like, okay, this stuff's real. I got to take this seriously. Then we see that the guard, that the John C. Reilly guard, is throwing dead butterflies at the boy, the golden child. And the golden child is able to touch them and bring him back to life. And the John C. Reilly guard gets up too close to him, and the golden child is able to touch him, and it turns him good. It turns the bad guard good. Then Eddie Murphy's character sees the bird. If you can remember from the beginning of the movie, that bird that the golden child brought back to life, and he's able to follow it to find where the golden child is being held. There's no guards at the house? Why didn't they just go home and just stab the kid right then that night? Why are they waiting for the next day? And then he's walking through this house, no guards, and the knife is just laying on the ground in the house. Who treats their knives like that? Keep them in a burrito grande from Naf's. Keep them in a little safe on the side of your desk. Sada Noomspa, you don't deserve that knife. You don't deserve it. I hope he gets stabbed by it by the end of this movie. Then, finally there's a guard that comes out. But the John C. Reilly guard chokes him out. He goes, okay, Eddie Murphy says, I'll keep your secret. So number one, when they were in the mansion house, Charlotte Lewis wanted to sleep with him again, and he said no. Okay, that's one. Is right there, trusting someone you have no reason to trust? Is that what that was supposed to be? They find the golden child, And the first thing he says was, I'm going to get you out of here, I promise. So makes a promise to someone he just met. All he has left is be in love with someone who loves him. Oh, that's already happened. Because when the Charlotte Lewis got shot with the arrow, it said, she said, I love you. He's complete now. He is truly the chosen one. So he gets his dagger and he finds Sada Numspa. And he gets this weird, like this, like he's gonna, like what kind of stabbing is this? Is that really how people stab? I don't know. Maybe some of you tactile guys out there can tell me. But anyway, Sada Numspa turns into a giant flying demon, and Eddie Murphy runs away. The Golden Child's able to touch the car and get it started. Eddie Murphy says one of the medical lines in the movie, which I was telling you about. Kid's just sitting there all calm. He says,
Somebody give you a Valium or what?
Valium is a benzodiazepine that we use quite often here in the emergency department. Now in 2025 with the Ativan shortage, we're using a lot more Valium, which we weren't using as much. Ativan is lorazepam. Diazepam. Valium is diazepam. It can be given IV, PO, or intramuscular for anxiety or sedation, sleep. So Eddie Murphy and the Golden Child make it to some deserted building, and the demon's chasing them, flying behind them, and catches up to them. And they fight in this building as the building's coming down around them because of their fighting in it, I guess. And Eddie Murphy's not able to stab him, but the building collapses all in the demon guy, and the dagger's lost down there as well. But they're able to get away. And they make it back to Charlotte Lewis's character, who has very little left. Just her toe. Just her little toe. As the sun's still shining on it. And right as they're about to touch the toe, the demon guy drops in from the ceiling with the dagger. And it's going to stab Eddie Murphy, but he's still wearing that plain metal medallion that the monk gave him back in Tibet. And the dagger shoots off of him across the room because it hits that medallion and it's magical and it shoots the dagger across the room. And the Golden Child's able to use his telekinesis powers to slide the dagger across the room to Eddie Murphy's character, and he's able to grab it. And this time Eddie Murphy gets into his dagger stabbing pose again. And he's able to stab the demon Sada Numspa through the rib cage, and I guess that kills him. I guess. Oh no! But the light is not on the Charlotte Lewis anymore. She might be gone forever. That's easy. The Golden Child just lifts her leg up till her toe's still in the light, touches her little toe. She comes back to life, and now they're a family. Oh, that's the movie. Another knife connection. The boy's name, the Golden Child's, J.L. Riot. Riot, like the knife brand! This movie cost about $20 million to make and made about $80 million, so did pretty well. This movie came out in 1986, so I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on video. Uh-oh. The Golden Child is actually a girl. Jasmine Lauren Riot. Even though it made money, it was kind of a disappointment because his last film, Beverly Hills Cop, made over $200 million. So a little bit disappointing to the studio. This doesn't have great Rotten Tomatoes scores, like 22%. So that's not good. This movie came out about the same time as Big Trouble in Little China. Probably was greatly affected by this movie. People are kind of sick of this theme. It only made $11 million on a $20 million budget, so huge disappointment. Big Trouble in Little China was. But also a great movie I grew up watching. Oh, he has a boot knife in that movie. Maybe I could do one of these for a boot knife. Huh. You gave me ideas. And it has a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. I see that. It's probably better. It's probably a better movie. There's a lot of the same actors in it too. Oh, how did they get both these to come out at the same time? Hey guys, if you like that movie review, let me know down in the comments, like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Farewell. I kept waiting for the spot in the movie where the knife comes alive and bites his hand. And it wasn't this movie. It was young Sherlock Holmes. That's what it was.